Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about Foundation Tier 2023, Paper 1. Let's move on to the questions. We're going to give you the same idea, some formulas that you might use in the paper. Now, let's start with question 1. Question 1A, shade 4 over 5 of this shape. So, when we shade, we're going to look at the shape. How many boxes do we have? We have 15. So, 5 times 3 is 15. So, we multiply 15 by 4 over 5. It here. So 4 over 5 multiplied by 15. Let's make a fraction line like this. Multiplied by 15. And the answer will be 12. So because divide by 5, divide by 1 is going to be 3. 3 times 4 is going to be 12. Now you're supposed to shade 12 boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 6, and then 9, and then 12. So these are 12 out of 15 boxes that's supposed to be shaded. Now let's move on to the next question. Question B, write 27 over 36 as a fraction in its simplest form. So 27 over 36 as a fraction in its simplest form. Now, when you divide 27 over 36 in the calculator, it will answer it for you and it will give you the simplest form. Now, let's do it manually by dividing. So we're going to divide by 3 is going to be, let's put this here. Divide by 9 is going to be 3. Yeah. And divide this by 9 is going to be 4. So 3 over 4. Okay. So the simplest form will be 3 over 4. Let's make a fraction line to show that it's a fraction. Okay. So we divided by 9, gave me 3 here, and it gave me 4 here. Write this as a decimal. When you divide 3 over 100 in the calculator, it will give you 0.03, and this is the decimal that they're looking for. So it's going to be 0.03. Now let's move on to the next question. Focus on the questions, take it easy, don't rush it, because sometimes you have simple mistakes and you won't notice until you focus. Write 7 over 50 as a percentage. To write anything as a percentage, you have to multiply it by 100. So 7 over 50 multiplied by 100, it will give you the percentage that you need. So 7 over 50 times 100. When you simplify, divide this by 50 is going to be 1, divide by 50 is going to be 2, and the answer will be 14%. So the answer is 14%. Okay. You can do it with the calculator, it will give you the answer. Make sure that you check, because even simple questions, you might have mistakes in them, and you'll regret leaving them without checking. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 2. Melanie finds this information about the number of people in millions who speak each of 5 languages as their first language. So these are the languages, and these are the number of people or the frequencies of people. Which of these languages is the first language of the greatest number of people? So we need the greatest language that people speak. So we take a look at the numbers. We find out that 918 million is the highest. So Mandarin Chinese is the highest. So the answer is Mandarin Chinese. Okay. This is question A. Which one is the highest, or which one is the greatest? It will be Mandarin Chinese. Now let's move on to the next one here. More people speak Japanese as their first language than speak Greek as their first language. So Japanese are more than Greek. How many more? It means we take the Japanese and the Greek and subtract them from each other. So 128 and 13, 128 and 13. We just subtract them from each other. Yes. So let's write it here. 128 minus 13. And the answer is 115. 115. So 115 people, 115 million people speak Japanese more than Greek. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, focus on the steps. The number of people who speak Tamil as the first language is one-fourth of the number of people who speak Bengali as their first language. Work out the number of people who speak Bengali as their first language. So focus on questions like these because sometimes they are tricky, so you have to focus on which numbers they're talking about. So the number of people who speak Tamil as their first language is one-fourth of number of people who speak Bengali. It means when you multiply one-fourth of the people who speak Bengali, you'll get the people who speak Tamil. That's the idea of this question. So let's write it like this. We already know that Tamil is 75. So we need the Bengali people. So basically, when you multiply 1 over 4, let's do it like this, or 0.25, it's the same. So 0.25, when you multiply it by Bengali, you'll get what? You'll get Tamil, which is 75. That's right, Tamil. So 0.25 times Bengali will give you 75, which is Tamil. Now we're trying to find the Bengali people, so we're going to take 0.25 because it's multiplied. We're going to take it by dividing here, like this. So Bengali, I'm going to try to find Bengali people, equals 75 divide 0.28. That's 0.25. So Bengali equals, let's do it with the calculator, 75 divide 0.25. And the answer is 300. So 300 million people speak Bengali. And this is the step that you're supposed to do to find that. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay. Next question says, we did this. That's the first language. Yes, they did. It is estimated that 861 million, 861,000 and 700 million, 861,700 people can speak Welsh. Write this number in words. That's what they mean. So let's write it in words. So as I said, it's 861,000. So write it like this. 861,000 and 61,000. Uh, like this. So 861,000. And then you can write a comma like this and write 700. Okay. So this is how you write this number in words. Now, for the spelling mistakes, as long as it gives the right or the right, yeah, meaning, they don't care about spelling mistakes, okay? Because it's a math test, so they don't care about spelling mistakes. Let's move on to the next question. Ivor asks 20 children in his class to name their favorite fruit. Here are his results. So these are the results of the people who named the fruits. Now, let's try to answer the question here. Complete the frequency table to show this information. First, of course, we have to check and count each one of them. Now, let's start counting. First, let's do the apples. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that you put a line on top of each one that you count, so you don't do it again. So these are 4, 5 apples. Yes. So 5 apples. So first one is 5. Tally, you're gonna do 5 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth is like this. Okay. So this one is 5. You write 5 here. Okay. Frequency is 5. And then let's count the other ones. We have bananas. So 1, 2 bananas. Only 2. Yes. So only 2 bananas. So in the tally, you're gonna do 2 lines like this. We'll do this after we finish the tally. We have grape after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 grape. So on the tally, we do 4 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then next, we have the peach. For the peach, let's see, 1. As long as you put a line on top of the ones you count, 2, you won't have problems. 3, we have 3 peach, yes, so it's 3, 1, 2, 3. And the last one is orange, so we have 1, 2, 3, and here 4, 5, 6. So there are 6. First, you do the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th will be alone like this. Now, of course, you have to write them in numbers in the frequency one. So these are 2. And then we have 4. Here, 4. We have 3. And then the last one is 6. Now, after finishing this information, let's go down to the question. So we filled the gaps. Now we're gonna do the question, okay? Now the question says, let's see it. Complete the bar chart for the information in the table. We're gonna use the table and complete the bar chart, okay? So here, these are the frequencies. So you're gonna write the data down, and then you're gonna use these numbers to put them here, okay? So first, let's erase the ones on top here. We're gonna use the data in the bottom. Let's remove the tally, and we'll use the numbers that we wrote, okay? Let's do this here. So these are the apples. Let's erase these. The tally. Okay. Let's write letters for each one of them. These are the apples. So apples, bananas, grapes. We're gonna use letters with them. Peach, you already know what are they, and orange. Okay. Now, when you do it with the full name. But I'm doing this just to save some time. Okay. Now I know the numbers and I know the letters, so I'm gonna go down to the information and put the information on the frequency. Uh, I'm gonna do a bar chart. Yeah, bar chart. So here, let's put it here. So we have apples, bananas. Let's put them like this. So these are the apples. Let's put the apple here. And then bananas here. Grapes. Okay. Now we're gonna take their numbers, put them under them. So this one is grape. Let's make it smaller. So you can take the 5, put it under the apple. Let me do this and then I'll continue. So I finished this. I put the letters and then the frequencies under them so I can use them to make the bar chart. These are the apples. The apples go until 5. So I'm going to make a bar chart that goes till 5, like this. Till 5. So these are the apples. And then the bananas go till 2. So these are the bananas. Grape goes till 4. Grape. Yeah. Peach goes till 3. And the last one, orange, goes till 6. And this is the bar chart for the information that we have on top. Now let's move on to the next question. Only bar chart, right? Yes. Question 4, let me zoom in. So write 4:15 p.m. as a time using the 24-hour clock. So we're gonna turn this into a 24-hour clock. Basically, when you turn this one is a 12-hour clock. So when you turn it into 12-hour, 24-hour clock, you just add 12 to the hours. So it means you're going to add 12 to the 4, and the answer will be 16. So the answer is 16, 15, like this. This is the 24-hour system. You just add 12 to the clocks, okay? Now let's take a look at the question here. You see, on Thursday, Lena drives to Theo's house. She leaves home at 9:15. She arrives at Theo's house at 14:40. Work out how long the journey takes. Give your answer in hours and minutes. So she leaves home at 9:15 a.m. and then she arrives at Theo's house at 14:40 p.m. Now, we're going to find out how much time did she take. So we can subtract the time by subtracting the hours first and then subtracting the minutes. So if I subtract the hours, it means these are 5 hours. And if I subtract the minutes, 40 minus 15, these will be 25 minutes. It means the answer will be just subtracting them, but you have to focus on the time. Maybe the numbers are different. So 14 minus 9 would equal 5. So 5 hours. 5 hours. Okay. And then 40 minus 15 will give me 25 minutes. Okay. So the answer is 5 hours and 5 hours and 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 5, simplify. So P plus P plus P plus P. If we are multiplying the same base numbers, we're going to add the powers. But here we are adding the base numbers. It means we're going to add the coefficients only. P means there's a 1 before it, so each one of them has 1 before it. So when you add them, you're going to have 4, and the variable is P. So the answer is 4P. Now let's simplify these. Same idea. I'm going to look for the like terms. So 5E here, 5E, and 7E are the same. They are like terms. So I'm going to add them together. And then I have 6F minus 2F. These are like terms, so I'm going to subtract them from each other as written here. So 5 plus 7 is going to be 12E. And then 6F minus 2F is going to be positive 4F. So the answer is 12E plus 4F. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Focus when you simplify on like terms and how to work them out. Okay. Next question. Let's move this. Solve this. Solve means find the value of x. Here we have 13 minus x equals 7. Now we're going to take the 7 to the other side and take the x to the opposite side. So I'm going to take the 7 here, is going to be minus 7, and take the negative x here, is going to be positive x. So 13 minus 7 will equal x. That's what I did. I changed the place of the x, made it here, go here, and it became positive x, and the 7 became negative 7 here. Now 13 minus 7 will equal what? Very good. So x equals 6. Good job. So x equals 6. Focus on the steps and focus on how to answer algebraic questions, because if you have a wrong sign, it will change everything. Okay. Now we're going to solve this. 4y plus 7 equals 43. Same steps. So 4y, I'm going to take the 7 to the other side. So 4y equals 43 minus 7, because I changed the sign of the 7. This is equals, yes. And then 4y will equal, when you subtract 7 from 43, we're going to have 36. We're going to have 36. So 43 minus 7 is going to be 36. Yes, 36. And then we're going to divide by 4, or take the 4 to the other side by dividing. Same idea, same steps. So I'm going to take the 4 by dividing here. And the y will equal, y equals 36 divide 4. It means that the y will equal 36 divide 4. So y equals 9. So focus on the steps of algebra. It's very important to understand algebra and how to answer questions involving algebra. Because as I said, if you have one mistake with the signs, it means you have a problem with the whole question. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, let's move on. Yes, next question. Next question here. Okay, remove this. This one's done. Next question, question 6. Vivienne makes bread. The weight of yeast she uses is 1% of the weight of flour she uses. Vivienne uses 750 grams of flour. Work out the weight of yeast she uses. So as we said, the weight of yeast she uses is 1% of this one. That means we're going to multiply 1% by this one. So let's do it here. 1% means what? It means 1 over 100, like this. So this is 1%. Now let's make a fraction line. So this one is 1%. Now I'm going to multiply 1% by the weight that she has, which is 750. So multiply 750 to get the answer. So here, 1% multiply 750 and you'll get 7.5. So the weight of yeast is 7.5 grams. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the steps and focus on the question and what they need. Now let's move on to the next question. Bernard makes currant buns. For every 400 grams of flour, he uses, he uses 125 grams of currants. Bernard uses 2000 grams of flour. Look at the weight of currants he uses. So we already know that for every 400 grams of flour, he uses 125 grams of currants. And he wants to use 2000 grams of flour. What's the weight of currants he's going to use? This time, we're going to use the X method to find out because it has like a ratio that we can use. So let's put them in the boxes of the X method. So we have 4 boxes as usual. This X method can be used with the ratios. It can be used with the map ratio, stuff like that. So this one, let's say this is the flour. And this one is the currant. So the flour is 400 and the currant is 125. Now he's going to use 2000 grams of flour. That means we put 2000 here. 1000 here. And then we cross multiply. So cross multiply like this to find the weight of the current he's going to use. Like this. Now we're going to multiply 125 by the 2000 and then divide the answer by 400 and we will get 625. So the answer is 625 grams. 625 grams. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the steps, focus on how to use the X method and on putting the right numbers in the right place. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 7. The diagram shows a rectangle measuring 10 centimeters by 3 centimeters, 10 by 3. A shape is made by placing 3 of these rectangles together as shown in the diagram. Work out the perimeter of the shape. So we're going to try to find out the perimeter of the shape by putting all the numbers in the right places. So first, let's put the numbers in the right places, and then we're going to try to find the perimeter of the shape. Here, let's take a look at the numbers. We already know that this one is 10. It means the whole thing is 10 here. Same idea here, it's 10. And these small lines are 3s. So 3, 3. Okay. This one is 10. This one is 3. This one is 3. And this one is 10. Now we are missing this line and this line. We already know that the small line is 3, 3, 3. And the big line is 10. So we subtract 10 minus 3 will be, very good, 7. So to find out the missing line, we subtract them and we will get 7. So this line is 7. This line is 7. Now to find the perimeter, we're going to add all the numbers outside of the shape, all the numbers outside of the shape. This is very important. To find the perimeter, add all of the lines outside of the shape like this. Don't add the ones inside the shape, only the ones outside of the shape like this. Now we're going to add them together and put a line on top of them. So this is a 10, 10, 10, we have 30. And then 7 plus 3 is 10, so 40. And then another 10, 50. And there's a 10, 60. And then we have 3 and 3, it's 6. So the answer is 66. So after adding all of the lines, they're going to be 66. And because it's in centimeters, the answer should be in centimeters. So the perimeter of the shape is 66 centimeters. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.